Transcribed. Ladies and gentlemen, the ringing of that phone bell brings you mystery, adventure.
Nero Wolf's office. Archie Goodwin speaking. What? Oh, Fritz. Yeah, I thought it was the outside line. Yeah? Yes, thanks. I'll be right down, Fritz. Boss, Mr. Wolf, will you please hurry?
You're well aware that it will avail you nothing to hurry me. Why, Mr. World, be in such a rush today?
But the car, it's downstairs waiting. Fritz is all ready.
Let him wait. Isn't it enough that I've agreed against my better judgment to leave the comforts of home to go rushing through the crashing traffic of the city?
To a dinner? That should be an inducement.
Fritz could have prepared a delicious dinner. He has truffles in the pantry.
Well, why did you promise Arthur Merle? You didn't have to accept the invitation.
Quite so. He's an old friend. Besides, he does set an excellent table. It's just that I don't like the traffic.
Traffic? I know why. It's that awful oxygen in the atmosphere outside. It's not the traffic.
Archie, you're talking much too much.
I know, boss. I'm impatient. Would you mind giving me some slight indication that you intend to move from that chair?
Just as soon as I finish this beer.
Sure you wouldn't care for half a dozen sandwiches before we go to dinner?
If we were going anywhere other than to Arthur Merle's, I'd agree with you. He's the only person in the world I know of, except myself, of course, who has a proper appreciation and respect for the art of preparing good food.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that renowned genius who is the bulkiest, balkiest, most ponderous, and most brilliant detective in the world. Yes, none other than that chair-borne mass of unpredictable intellect, Nero Wolfe, created by Rex Stout and brought to you in a new series of adventures over this NBC network in the person of Mr. Sidney Greenstreet.
We usually refer to this story as the case of the final page. Under normal circumstances, the last page of a manuscript would be absolutely worthless unless you read all the preceding pages. But in this instance, the final page held the answer to a murder. Without that page, we couldn't arrive at the solution. Actually, we didn't even know the problem. Anyhow, I finally got Nero Wolfe to the lobby of Arthur Merle's apartment building.
Going up. Up, please. Are you going up, gentlemen?
Are you, honey?
Certainly. It's my job.
Then so are we. After you, boss.
When did they install women elevator operators in this building?
I've been here for 2 years. Floor, please.
Arthur Merle's apartment, I believe it's 814.
That's right. Are you Mr. Wolfe?
No, this is Mr. Wolfe. I'm Archie Goodwin.
Although the name Wolfe would be much more appropriate for him than for me.
How did you know he was Mr. Wolfe?
Mr. Merle came in half an hour ago. He mentioned that he was expecting you.
You see, Archie, you rushed me unnecessarily. We practically preceded him here, and we'll probably have to wait interminably for dinner.
I just hate to be late.
Arthur Merle has never been on time in his life. He's no more punctual than any other writer. He's never been known to meet a deadline on time.
This is your floor, gentlemen. Arthur Merle is just down the hall to the right, 814.
Thank you. And, by the way, I want to compliment you on your congenial attitude, miss. I'll speak to management.
Oh, thank you, sir. Decent of you.
What's your name, huh?
Women are usurping everything.
Really costs to live here. Merle's really in the chips.
Every book he writes sells 1 million copies.
Remember the last time we had dinner with Arthur Merle?
I do. Delicious. Mountain quail. Shot them himself.
Yeah, he's quite a marksman.
Archie, such proficiency as Arthur Merle displayed in hunting is evidence of a wasted life.
Sure, he probably never made over $500,000 a year in his whole life.
Well, ring again. Don't just stand there.
Surely he's expecting us.
The elevator operator said he was?
Yeah, she seemed quite well informed.
If I were a judge of women, which I'm not, I'd say she has a line on every male in the building.
She can get a line on me anytime she wants.
Archie, your insatiable interest in the female seems sometimes to border on the psychopathic.
You know a more pleasant way to go crazy?
Phooey.
It's strange. There's a light on in there. I can see it under the door. Shall I try the door?
Do so, Archie.
Thank you.
Unlocked. Well, at least we can get in. He may be in the bedroom.
Probably in the kitchen.
I'll just sit here. I must forgo the comforts of my own home. I certainly intend to avail myself of the comforts of Arthur Merle's. Very much over-decorated.
You wouldn't like heaven unless they had orchids and beer.
Not a chair in the place worthy of the name. Well, I'll try that divan while you have a look around.
For what?
Arthur Merle, of course. Suppose you have a look in the study. Maybe writing. Have a look, my boy. I'm exhausted and thirsty. See if he has any...
Boss!
Good heavens, Archie, don't shout. I'm coming.
It's Arthur Merle. Look, slumped over his desk, a knife in his back.
Yeah, he's quite dead. You haven't touched anything?
Certainly not. I've been around long enough to know that.
Well, you just call Inspector Kramer at homicide.
How long do you think he's been dead? I'd say a half hour.
From all appearances, yes. And perhaps only 10 minutes.
I can't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Arthur Merle? Everybody liked him. Last man I'd expect such a thing to happen to.
The answer is probably a considerable distance from the question, Archie.
Inspector Kramer, homicide.
Archie Goodwin, Inspector. Just a minute. Nero Wolf wants to speak to you.
Oh, no. Don't tell me you two have stirred up something on a night like this. It's 10 below zero.
I'm sorry. Here you are, boss.
Hello, Inspector.
Yes? What is it this time, Wolf? Find a dead body under Grant's tomb?
I'm sorry you'll forgive any apparent failure to find humor in your little witticism. But I'm at Arthur Merle's apartment. I suggest you come here at once. Seems that Arthur finally met a deadline.
So you just walked in here and found Merle dead, huh?
We were invited here for dinner.
Anyone else around when you got here?
No?
You see anyone, Goodwin?
Only the elevator operator who brought us up.
Well, Mr. Wolf, since you were in on the ground floor, maybe you've got some ideas.
Sorry, Inspector. Had I been able to solve the crime so soon, I would have advised you, Inspector.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously murder.
Obviously.
You knew him well?
Quite well.
Ever know of his being in any trouble?
No?
Everybody liked him. Arthur Merle, I felt, didn't have an enemy in the world.
Is that so? I don't think anybody pulled this as a little friendly gesture.
Don't jump to conclusions, Inspector, that this murder was committed necessarily by an enemy of Merle's.
Meaning?
It could have been an absolute stranger.
A woman?
Or a burglar, or a madman, or a crank, or... As far as we know, it could have been anybody in the city, Inspector. Arthur's been dead nearly an hour. And an hour ago, I was in my own home, sitting comfortably in my own big, easy chair, drinking a delectable glass of beer. Someone at the door, Archie.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll answer that.
Mr. Merle?
No.
Well, is Mr. Merle here?
Yes, he's here. But he's not seeing anyone.
Well, he's expecting me. I'm from the Serve Right Catering Company. We're ready to serve for 4 here tonight.
The dinner has been canceled.
Oh, but it's been ordered. Breast of guinea hen, cooked in wine and cloves, delicious. It's prepared and waiting. I'm afraid that I must insist on seeing Mr. Merle.
Mr. Merle has been murdered.
Well, I'm afraid I must... Murdered? Well, oh, my goodness, but... Well, in that case, Yes, good evening.
Don't you think you might have taken a bit more time with the fellow, Inspector?
Why?
You might at least have let him serve the dinner. Guinea hen, wine, and cloves sounded positively delectably...
Look, I've had dinner.
I'm afraid you're too busy, Inspector. So busy that you've just passed up an extremely interesting bit of information.
What are you talking about, Wolf?
He said he was to serve dinner for 4.
Well?
Arthur Merle, Archie, and myself are only 3.
Well, who else was supposed to be here?
A 4th guest who either hasn't arrived yet or who arrived earlier and left.
Oh, I see what you mean, Wolf.
Good. In that case, I'll leave you to pursue your deductions from that premise. Archie, will you please stay with the inspector and be of any help that you can? As for myself, I'm going back to my own home, which I should never have left in the first place.
Okay, that finishes the apartment search, Goodwin.
And what have we?
Nothing. Except that Merle had over $300 in his pocket
And he was wearing a ring worth a couple of $1,000, so it couldn't have been robbery. And I don't think it was premeditated murder.
Why not?
The weapon. Obviously, if someone had planned on killing Merle, he'd have prepared it better. Used a better weapon than a blunt paper knife. No, as I see it, someone was here before you and Wolf arrived, and for some reason that person found it necessary to kill Merle, and he did it on the spur of the moment.
I'm listening.
Well, it's obvious. Merle was slumped over his typewriter. This sheet of paper was in it. He'd been working.
May I see it?
Yeah.
Starbreaker. Strange title. Page 189. He was getting well along with his latest mystery.
Apparently.
Gregory Thorne slipped the paper into his pocket. It was just an ordinary piece of paper, but Gregory knew its value. Used properly, as Greg knew how to use it, it would be worth $100,000. He walked away briskly, and as he... That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Must have been writing.
I'd like to read the rest of it.
We didn't find any more of it.
Any other ideas?
No, at the moment we seem to be right where the murderer himself left off. Oh, what is this, open house?
Sorry to be so...
Oh, what?
I expected to see Mr. Merle. Is he here?
Well, who are you?
Cynthia Roberts.
He expecting you?
Well, no. That is...
Come on in, Miss Roberts.
Thank you.
Maybe the young lady is trying to say that he didn't have to expect her. Maybe she felt free to call without advance notice, Inspector.
Inspector?
What did you want to see Mr. Merle about?
Well, I'm his fiancée.
Oh.
Had dinner yet, Miss Roberts?
Why, yes, I had dinner earlier.
When were you last here, Miss Roberts?
Last night, after the theater. Arthur and I were... What's the matter? Is something wrong?
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Miss Roberts, but Arthur Merle was murdered. And you say you hadn't talked to Mr. Merle all evening. Is that right, Miss Roberts?
Yes, that's right.
You didn't have a date with him tonight?
Oh, no.
Then why did you come here?
I told you we were engaged. I just came by, that's all.
I see.
Any more questions, Inspector?
None for the present. How about you, Goodwin?
Nope. But maybe Wolf. Let me call him.
Yes, I guess under the circumstances, we can't very well leave him out. Go ahead.
Oh, Arthur, I just can't believe it. Why would anyone want to kill him?
That, Miss Roberts, is a question we'd all like to know the answer to.
Nero Wolf speaking.
Archie, boss, I'm still at Merle's. We haven't found out anything new except that Arthur's fiancée dropped in a few minutes ago.
Did she know anything of interest?
I don't think so.
What does the inspector plan to do about it?
Just a minute. He wants to know what you're going to do with her.
Well, hold her, of course.
He's going to hold her.
Let me speak to him.
Okay. He wants to talk to you, Inspector.
All right. Hello.
Inspector, I suggest you let the young lady go.
Are you crazy? I haven't got enough suspects in this deal to be letting the hottest one go free.
You can't consider her a suspect simply because she knew Arthur.
Now, see here, Wolf.
If you go around arresting people at random, you'll suddenly be tipping your hand to the real murderer, admitting that you don't have a real clue to go on.
And just what do you suggest?
Find a motive, Inspector. Find a motive. Then, if you stumble on a suspect, you'll have some basis for making an arrest. At the moment, I suggest that you let the girl go and tell Archie to stop wasting his time down there and come home at once.
So that's the story, boss. We went over that place with a fine-tooth comb. Nothing. There's not a single suspect. The last person to see Arthur alive was the elevator girl.
Correction, Archie. The last person to see Arthur Merle alive was the person who ended his life.
Well, I just can't imagine that pretty little elevator gal.
You don't solve crimes by imagination, Archie.
Then there's Cynthia Roberts, his fiancée.
You suspect her?
Not exactly, but just suppose she did have a motive. Maybe he threw her over. Wouldn't it have been very clever of her to come back to Arthur's apartment after the police arrived, allegedly looking for her?
I thought you were the admirer of the fairer sex, Archie. So far, the best you can do is practically accuse the elevator girl and Arthur's fiancée of murder.
Well, who else is there? Certainly the fellow who came with the food doesn't count. I repeat, who else is there?
The entire population of the city, Archie.
Thanks. Well, that's all, I guess. Oh, there was something else.
What?
This. Page 189 of what appears to be Arthur's latest novel was in his typewriter. As you can see, just started the page.
Starbreaker. Very interesting. What's the rest of it?
That's all we found.
What? And there was something missing. Archie,
Yes, boss?
first thing tomorrow morning, get the address of Mr. Morton, who publishes Arthur's books. Then get over to see him right away.
Yes, may I help you?
I'd like to see Mr. Morton.
Did you have an appointment?
Tell him I'm from Homicide.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes?
Mr. Morton, I know you have someone with you, but there's a gentleman here from the Homicide Bureau. He wants to see you.
Tell him I work for Nero Wolf. My name's Goodwin.
His name is Goodwin.
Send him in.
Yes, thank you. You may go right in, sir. The large door to your right.
Thanks.
Come in, Mr. Goodwin. Come in. I understand you're from Homicide.
Not exactly. I'm Nero Wolf's assistant. We're working with Inspector Kramer.
And what can I do for you?
You've heard about Arthur Merle.
Yes, I received the word when I came in this morning. It was a great shock. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Goodwin. This gentleman is Henry Childs.
How do you do, Mr. Childs?
Glad to meet you, Mr. Goodwin. You're with Nero Wolf?
I'm his assistant, Man Friday.
Mr. Childs is a publicity agent. He handled all publicity for Arthur Merle.
I've not only lost an excellent client, but a very good friend. Did you know Mr. Merle?
Yes, I'd met him a number of times with Mr. Wolf.
Yes, indeed. Arthur Merle was a great writer and a fine citizen. He'll be missed by millions. Mr. Goodwin, when was the murder discovered?
Last night, shortly before dinner.
Well, what do the police, what do you think the motive was?
Don't know as yet, Mr. Childs. A little early for that.
Well, it's certainly a shame.
I wanted to ask you a few questions, Mr. Morton, privately. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Childs.
Oh, no, not at all. I was about to leave. I'll run along now, Mr. Morton.
See you again soon, Mr. Childs.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Well, Mr. Goodwin,
You did a lot of business with Mr. Merle, Mr. Morton?
I published every one of his novels for the past 8 years.
And you intended to publish his new one, the one he was working on?
Yes, we had a contract.
The usual agreement between you.
Naturally, although I didn't know the story, I was always sure that if Arthur wrote it, it was good. Mr. Merle's name on a novel was a guarantee that it would sell 1 million copies.
You don't know what this last one was about?
Haven't the faintest idea. We relied completely on Arthur's judgment.
Not even any carbon copies, huh?
Not that I know of. Why?
When Mr. Merle was killed, the only thing missing from his apartment was the novel.
The novel?
The first 188 pages, all we found of it were a few lines of page 189 in his typewriter. He must have been working on it when the murderer stabbed him. The rest of it's gone.
You mean, Goodwin, the novel's gone? Oh, this will cost me $1 million.
Well, it cost Arthur Merle his life.
Arthur Merle dead and his novel gone. I can hardly believe it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Morton.
Oh, I hope I've been of some help, although
I'm
don't
sorry
quite see.
you haven't. But we may call on you again. Before it's over, you may be a great help.
Nero Wolf speaking.
Archie, boss. I just finished with Morton. He doesn't know a thing. Merle never discussed his stories with anyone, and as far as Morton knows, he never made carbons.
I see.
Where do I go from here, boss?
See Cynthia Roberts.
Oh, then you haven't dismissed the possibility that she may have had something to do with it.
Being his fiancée, she probably knows more about Arthur than anyone else. She may know who the fourth guest was to have been last night. And she also may know what Merle's novel was about.
Right, boss. I'm anxious to know what the novel was about, too.
I personally don't give a hang what the novel was about. What I want to find out is someone who does know the story. Because I have a hunch that whoever knows that is the person who killed Arthur Merle.
Miss Roberts, I know you want to help us find out who killed Arthur.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll do anything.
Nero Wolf and I were invited to have dinner with Arthur Merle last night.
Well, I knew he was having friends in for dinner, but I didn't know who they were.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hoped you'd know whom he invited.
No, he didn't tell me.
Miss Roberts, we have reason to believe that there was to have been a fourth person there last night.
A fourth?
The caterer came to deliver dinner for 4. Now, the fourth party never did show up, or else came earlier and left after Arthur was killed.
You mean someone Arthur invited to dinner might have killed him?
Maybe.
Oh, there's no one that I can think of who bore any ill will toward Arthur.
We're convinced that this was done on the spur of the moment. Unpremeditated murder. Arthur Merle suddenly became a threat to someone. Now we've got to find out what the threat was and who was threatened. We'd hoped you could help.
I'm sorry.
Did he ever discuss his new novel with you?
Oh, no, he never talked about his stories until he'd finished them.
So his latest mystery contains the answer to an even greater mystery. Unless we find the first, they'll both go unanswered.
Mr. Morton?
Yes?
Nero Wolf speaking.
Oh, yes. Your man Goodwin was here to see me.
I presume you are interested in seeing Merle's murderer brought to justice?
Certainly. Arthur was a close friend of mine.
And his death cost you a bestseller, I know. Now, would you be willing to help a bit?
Why, yes, if I...
I've prepared a statement for the papers. I want you to call the literary editors first thing in the morning. Here's what I want you to tell them. You got a pencil and paper?
Yes?
And take this down. Quote, Mr. Carlton Morton announced today that the last work of the late Arthur Merle will be published according to schedule. Fortunately, it was Mr. Merle's custom to furnish his publishers with carbon copies of each day's work. Consequently, with the major portion of his...
Boss!
Good heaven, Archie. Please don't be so loud.
Look here. In this morning's paper, why, that rat, he lied to me. That...
What on earth are you talking about?
That publisher, Morton, he said he didn't have copies of Merle's manuscript, that he didn't know what it was about. And listen to this. Mr. Carlton Morton announced today that the last work of the late Arthur Merle will be published according to schedule. Fortunately, it was Mr. Merle's custom to furnish his publisher with carbon copies of each day's work. Consequently, with a major portion of his latest work, Starbreaker, in the hands of his publisher, together with a complete synopsis, including the denouement, it will be possible for a ghostwriter to complete the novel. It will be published posthumously and proceeds with... Boss, did you hear that?
I did, and it couldn't have been more to my liking if I'd written it myself. Now, excuse me. I want to make a telephone call.
Who?
Publisher Morton.
Yeah, I'm beginning to see. He lied about the whole thing. I still don't see why he'd kill Merle, but on...
Hello, Mr. Morton. This is Nero Wolf. Yes, perfect. Now I'll call Kramer, and he and Archie will be waiting for you. Remember now, if anything comes of it, you are to say the manuscript is in the safe in your home, and you steer the party here. Say you've recently rented this place. I hope we'll be seeing you. Yes. Goodbye. Oh, and be careful. Remember what happened to Arthur. The manuscript is in my desk in the middle drawer.
What the... You mean...
Archie, look out of that window.
Huh? Yeah?
Out there is a city of some 5 million people. In that 5 million, there is one who murdered Arthur Merle. Now, we don't know who it is, so we can't go out and put a finger on him. But, Archie, since we can't go to him, we have only one other choice: make him come to us.
Will you tell me why we're sitting here in the dark in Wolf's office?
Yes, Inspector Kramer. Mr. Wolf promised us a caller. Mr. Morton is to pretend that he's rented this place recently.
Well, who's the caller?
Can't tell you until he or she gets here.
You seem certain he'll come.
I'm quite certain.
I'm just hopeful.
You trying to tell me that Morton killed Merle?
You're almost as dense as Archie was. No, Morton didn't do it.
Unless Mr. Wolf is very wrong, which is doubtful, before the night is over, Morton will know who did. And then it won't be long until we know, too.
You should get on a quiz program. You're so good at guessing games.
Shh. Listen.
Huh? Someone's coming.
A brilliant deduction, my dear Kramer. I hope there are 2 of them. Inspector, behind these drapes. Quick! I'll get behind the screen.
All right, Mr. Morton. So far, you've been very cooperative. Just keep it up.
I have no intention of doing otherwise. Your gun has me completely convinced, Mr. Childs.
Get the manuscript.
Yes, just a moment. It's in my desk.
Wait a minute. I thought you said it was in the safe.
A mistake, Mr. Childs. I don't have a safe. Shall I get the manuscript?
Yes, but no tricks. You be careful.
I'm being exceedingly careful, Mr. Childs. There you are.
Starbreaker by Arthur Merle. Yes, this is it. Thank you, Mr. Morton.
Now, I trust that's all you want of me.
I'm sorry. I wish that were true. Unfortunately, you see, it's not the actual novel that I want.
Oh?
My interest in this copy is the same as it was in the original.
And that is?
That no one should ever learn the content.
I take it you know what it's about, then.
Yes. You see, Mr. Merle made the mistake of telling me when I called a bit early at his apartment for dinner last evening. I was forced to deprive him of his life once I learned the storyline of this novel. This story must be kept secret.
Why?
Most of you people in the publishing business know me as a public relations and publicity agent for several prominent writers.
Yes?
Actually, I've been as successful as I might in this business because a few years ago I stumbled onto a very neat and foolproof method of blackmail. Unfortunately, Arthur Merle thought of the same thing and based this story on it. If it got out, I'd be exposed and sent to prison. So you can see why I had to stop it, why I had to kill Arthur, and why now I'll have to kill you, too.
Oh, child, for heaven's sake.
The contents of these pages condemn me. You know what's in them. Further, I've confessed to murder to you. You don't think I could let you live after that, do you?
Child, you're insane.
I'm sorry that I must repay you for your trouble in such an ungrateful manner. I'm sorry to do this to you,
Child,
but I can't...
Child, please, enough.
Sorry, Mr. Childs. There wasn't time to ask you to drop the gun.
All right, Mr. Childs, get your hands up and stay where you are.
Nice going, Mr. Morton.
Who are you?
That took courage, Mr. Morton. Sorry we had to wait so long, but we had to make Mr. Childs here convict himself.
Convict? What do you mean?
We've been waiting here for you, behind the drapes all the time. We heard every word. Mr. Childs, you're under arrest.
Police?
Yes, Mr. Childs. Only one person could have been so anxious over a copy of that novel. That's the person who killed Arthur Merle for the original. And we heard you confess to that.
And that's all we need to convict you.
We didn't have any proof until we set it up for you to make a second try to cover up for the first. Fortunately, the setup worked.
Setup?
Take a look at the rest of the manuscript, Mr. Childs.
What?
Oh, the front page is there, all right, but look at the rest.
Why, they're blank. They're just blank pages. You didn't have a copy at all.
No, but we certainly got a murderer. Eh, Inspector?
Childs! Childs! Stop, Childs! Stop!
Well, that's one way to avoid standing trial.
Well, Archie, I'm glad you and Kramer got Childs. Some beer, please.
That was a clever scheme, boss, making him think there was a copy.
Yes. In a way, though, I wish it hadn't been just a scheme.
Meaning?
I wish there had been a copy of Arthur Merle's novel.
Why? You never read detective stories.
No, but I've drummed up so much curiosity over this one, I'd like to know exactly what that blackmail gimmick really was. Good night, Archie.
You have been listening to The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet. Tonight's transcribed story by Don Arthur was based on the characters created by Rex Stout. This is an Edwin Fadiman production and is directed by J. Donald Wilson. In the cast were Harry Bartell as Archie Goodwin, and Evelyn Eaton, Peter Leeds, Lucille Alex, Marna Keneally, Herb Butterfield, and Bill Johnstone. Next week at this same time, Nero Wolfe and Archie will bring you The Case of the Telltale Ribbon. Don Stanley speaking. 3 chimes mean good times on NBC. There's excitement for you Sunday when talented servicemen compete on The Phil Regan Show. And Sunday on NBC also means another delightful adventure with Cary Grant and Betsy Drake when they star as Mr. and Mrs. Blandings, the proud but bewildered owners of the famous Dream House. The chimes are your invitation every Sunday to Mr. and Mrs. Blandings. Tomorrow, for excitement, hear Herbert Marshall in The Man Called X on NBC.
Check, testing 1, 2, fuck it. Yeah, here I am. That's the ticket. How's it going, people? What's going on? I'm going to turn the air back on. Good morning. It is 5 a.m., June 20th, 2025. And that concludes the show for today. Good night. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Today's show, we're supposed to reflect on the past versus the present. Yesterday versus today. Today sucks. Yesterday was cool. There you go. Show over. Goodbye. I can't believe there are so many fucking ignorant people in this world. Really. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You think with the amount of technology that we have to share between us that intelligence would be the tip of everything. Everything would be done with great intelligence, right? Not only that, but to use the intelligence collectively. Not just one person, not just a few, not just a group, but the entire planet thinking intelligently, working through its problems. That's like a unicorn. That's never gonna fucking happen. People don't want to think. People don't want to fucking think. They want to be told what to do, and they want to be entertained. That's it. That's all. That's all people want. They want to fuck each other, whether they're fucking each other over, poking each other. That's pretty much it. Even the so-called good Christian people, the good wholesome people of this planet, all they want to do is fucking fuck each other, make babies, populate this planet with more fucking people who just want to populate the planet with more people who just want to populate the planet with more fucking people. It just goes on and on and on, right? It's like, put a cork in it, people. You know, procreation was great when there was nobody here. There's enough people here now. We can stop it. All right? Put a cork in it. It would be one thing if we had intelligence. If we had intelligence in this many people, my God, we'd be living on Mars. We'd be beyond the planet at this point. If we only had the intelligence to go with the population, but we don't. We've got so many people on the planet, and the collective IQ is like in the null, right? There's just not enough intelligence to go around, and therefore we get these stupid fucking periods in humanity. So yesterday we talked about the Grateful Dead. At least we tried to. For the last hour of the show I talked about the Grateful Dead. Good morning, Joey. How are we today? I'll bet you're tired. I'll bet you're tired. I'm tired too. I'm so tired. My soul is tired. I am so... Yep. Yeppers. Yepperini. Yep. Let's see. I am going to shuffle a few things around here while we are just hanging out. Here we go. There we go. Let's see. Today's album of the day is Eddie Money. Eddie Money's self-titled album, Eddie Money. 2 Tickets to Paradise. You really got a hold on me. Want to be a rock and roll star? Save a little room in your heart for me. So good to be in love again. Baby, hold on. Don't worry. Jealousies. Got to get another girl and gambling man. These are all great fucking tunes. They're all great fucking tunes on this Eddie Money album. He was a weird dude. Actually, he got, wasn't this the guy who got into a motorcycle accident and got kind of partially paralyzed or something? So, Joey has just informed me that he is all right, but a tree fell on his roof yesterday. Did it do much damage? It was the wind, right? That damn wind. Stupid wind. So there you go. Well, good. I'm glad everything is okay. But what did it do? Did it hurt your house? Let's see. Your dad owns, right? You guys own the house, so that's pretty heavy. That's heavy stuff, man. Yeah, if a tree fell on our house, it would crush it to the ground, squash it like a bug. Oh, okay. Well, I'll hit her up to check out the pictures later on, man. That's heavy shit, man. My van is acting up again. We put, at this point, I don't know, $1,500 into it, and it's doing worse. We're hauling ass to the store last night, and I'm doing about 65 at the air conditioner on, and everything's going along, and all of a sudden, and it just loses fuel. You're just driving along, and all of a sudden you can feel the fuel just stop, and then the fuel starts up again, and then it stops. But now it's the time without fuel is used to just be like boom, no fuel, boom, no fuel, and now it's boom, no fuel for like 2 seconds driving down the fucking road at 65. All of a sudden you're just stalling at 65, and then going again, and then stalling, and then going again. And I'm like, we got to get it back into the shop. My wife said, we can't put it back. We just spent $1,500 on it in the shop. And I'm saying, well, if something were to happen and I were to need to sell this thing for the money, I need to know that I'm going to get the money that we put into it, that it's worth, right? I mean, at least we need to get the money we paid for it, plus the money we put into it. So, or at least try to break even somehow, right? But I can't accept less than I paid for it, and I can't accept less than it's worth. And at this point, your front door is blocked. Nice. At this point, I can't sell it for less than we paid for it, at least. I can't do that. So we have to put money into it so we can at least get a decent price for it. If we decide to sell it, if we have to sell it. But that's kind of the way things are right now, that if something were to happen, an emergency, family-wise, I would need to know that I can sell off just about everything that I own, right? So, and get a decent price for it, which means if I'm going to sell off all of my stereos, my 20 stereos that I have, I need to invest the time to fix them up, clean them, and make sure that they're working properly so that I can get more than the $5 I paid for them. I should be getting upwards of $50 to $150 per stereo, depending on how well that stereo performs. So that's going to be kind of my thing. Is I'm going to be going through 8-track tapes, cleaning them, readying them for sale, individual sale, and stereos for individual sale. And I will probably be taking turns at one of our vacation rentals that we clean. On a weekend that it's not rented, I will go there and set up a garage sale in the yard. Dude, I'll sell you one. Easy peasy. I'll fix it up and I'll sell it to you for $5. I've got some great old classic stereos. Oh, totally, I get it. I wasn't going to sell you a door. I need a new door. Mine's blocked. No, I get it, man. I got some cool stereos. The most bitchin' stereos I have are the ones that are an AM/FM stereo receiver with an audio input. So it's got an auxiliary. It's got a turntable, an 8-track, and a cassette player, plus that audio in. So now you've got a CD player or your Bluetooth node thingy, right? On an old stereo. So I need to do belts and needles and lubes. That's what I need to do, belts and needles and lube. I got lube. Needles are specific to the record players. But I should be able to get at least a half a dozen stereos together in a month, right? So my idea is to get an inventory of things to sell. I got into the 8-track thing because I kind of like fell into it. Somebody gave me a bunch of stuff. I don't listen to 8-tracks. I'd like to have an 8-track player in my van and a couple of boxes of 8-tracks that mean something to me. That's all. Everything else, if I can get a good price for it, I'm going to sell it. I've got like boxes of unopened, completely sealed 8-track tapes, brand new. Never been opened, never been used. The pads are going to be destroyed. The foil's going to be breaking loose from the tape. But it's brand new. You're going to need to open it, repair it, and then use it. Most people don't want to open it. They want to put it on their shelf, right? I've got a lot of display 8-tracks. What's really neat is to have an 8-track player stereo sitting up on in your area, in your man cave, right? With a little carousel with some 8-tracks in it, some nice old speakers, and 8-tracks hanging in the thing there. You know, a couple of albums waiting in the wings, a couple of cassettes, right? And that's kind of like its own little time capsule, right? You look at the tapes, the cartridges that are there, and they all say something about you and your past, right? That's a great little time capsule display for your house. Put it behind glass, whatever. Yeah, that's the way I would like some of my vacation rentals that we care for. I'd like them to be like that, where I go in and it's like, okay, let's take that box of 8-tracks and put it this box of 8-tracks. We'll take these home, we'll check them out. Well, this player, it looks like it ate a tape, so I better switch out machines, take this one home, fix the tape, and yada yada. So that kind of stuff. But wouldn't it be neat to go stay at an Airbnb and have a shelf filled with LPs and VHS tapes and 8-tracks and cassettes and books and things and old games and things that are like the whole house becomes a time machine, right? Fuck, I'd love to be able to do that. I could do several houses with the shit that I have. I would want to find old tube televisions that work good and put them in the bedrooms. You know, make a teenager room and put a TV and a nice boom box and stereo and all of the, you know, lava lamp and posters, and just make it like a kid's room from the 1970s or 80s. And then do one for little kids, a little kid's room with, you know, with bunk beds or beds in the corner or whatever. And create each room to be its own little time machine, right? If you're an adult staying in one of these kids' rooms, you're catapulted back to your childhood, right? Wow. That would be cool. Get weird things for the bathroom, like a Mr. Bubble dispenser, some Prel Pert Popular shampoo bottles to put stuff in, right? Old wallpaper stuff on the walls, and just try to make each room feel like a time machine. You know, that'd be fucking great. And then you could do that whole yesterday versus today thing, you know. Only the whole house would be, you would have Wi-Fi. You would be urged to turn it off and not use it. To immerse yourself, right? There would probably be one TV in the house. that is a smart TV, and it would be hidden. I would like a smart TV that's hidden so that you don't know where it is until you find the remote and you push power. And then when you push power, a stereo rises up from behind a cabinet or something. Or you look and you open up a picture on the wall and there's a TV there, something, so that it's hidden. Have a tube TV there in an old entertainment center, you know. The works, literally the works. A VHS video player, maybe even a Betamax, possibly a Laserdisc player, and I've got stuff to play on all of those machines. But that would be fucking bitchin', you know. And then turn the big closet in the master bedroom, turn it into a locked up media center. So you have to literally call or text the owner of the house. I would like, because you can read a sign, I would like access to the media room. And then do you agree to abide by all the rules that are there on the door? Yes, I do. Fine. Take a picture of those rules and say that you agree to them and send me that text. You do that, you give them the combination to the door. Now they're allowed into the room with everything that can be used on those machines in the house. You have a couple of things out there, a couple of movies, a couple of tapes, but if you want access to all of it, you have to get into and we'll call it like a video barn or Blockbuster, something old, you know, and we'll have lights and stuff, posters, and you decorate it in there like it's a little tiny video store. You know, one wall has got VHS and Betamax, one wall's got DVDs, one along the floor has got LPs to look through. You've got a wall of 8 tracks and cassettes and some CDs and just laser discs, just ancient video store stuff, right? That would be fucking awesome. You know, you go in there and you turn on the light and neon pops on and, you know, all kinds of cool things are happening. And you go in there and there's a stool right in the middle of the room that you can sit on or stand on, right? And you just sit there on that stool and look around and go, oh my God, like this is so much past here. You know, because it would be like sitting in my house. That's the way I want one of the Airbnbs to be, so that you're like sitting in my place here, looking around, and you're just albums, videos, everything is all just in this one little tiny closet, you know, that's actually just a little bit smaller than my little office here, this closet. So it would be perfect. Take out the shelves up here, remove the dresser, and wall-to-wall shelves, size large shelves at the bottom so that they can take all the LPs at the bottom, and then above that the next heavier item, bookshelves in every bedroom filled with books of the period for the room itself. You know, what would a teenager be reading? Catcher in the Rye or so, I don't know. So, and then the little kids' room, we'll call it the twins' room because it'll have 2 twin beds. You know, video games and coloring books and puzzle books and games and Legos and Barbies and just Hot Wheels, just a ton of shit. So you can leave your kid in that room for days and they'll be, yay! Or an adult can stay in that room and just be totally transported. I could totally dig that. I'd stay in the fucking house. If I was going to travel, that's the kind of house that I would want to stay in. Something with some class, something with some history, something with some color and some depth. Right now the place feels like one of these places we have feels like a doctor's office. A sterile doctor's office. No pictures on the walls, nothing. Some magazines on a table, some chairs and couches, and that's fucking it. A TV, you know, it's like, it feels like a doctor's office. It used to be nice. And then my friend got talked into letting his friend remodel it, or his friend's friend remodel, and it turned out horrible. All she did was strip it of its life and add a few crappy little things, right? I'm like, what the hell? No wonder the place doesn't get rented anymore. Let me take it over, you know. Please. Let me take... So, one of the houses that we do, I think Joey stayed up there before one of the times that he came. It got rented out as a monthly now, but now they want a housekeeper. The guy wants to surprise his girl and have somebody come over and clean the place up. And I would expect that he wants to try to get somebody on a regular basis to come over and do a deep. You know, and that's what we do. You know, I'm pretty good at cleaning. I'm horrible at cleaning my own house because I'm always burned up from doing other shit. But when I'm going out performing, doing a job for somebody else, working, cleaning their house, man, that's a nice house. It becomes really, really clean. I just go into cleaning with I don't just go in and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit. I'll come back to that. I go in and I'm like, from one end to the other, I just work like a line drawing, right? You never lift your pen off of the paper. You just start drawing. And you never take your pen or pencil off of the paper. You just keep creating the drawing that you want, retracing you don't retrace your steps, you just keep moving forward, right? And that's the thing. That's the difference. You just keep moving forward. I try to retrace my steps as little as possible. I just go in, I start at one end of the bathroom and work my way to the other, and it's done. Go to the next one, work my way to, and it's done. And then I go to the kitchen, the same thing. Around the kitchen, it's done. So I can knock out a house, a B&B, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, big kitchen, living room, outdoor tasks. I can knock that out myself in 2 hours. Period. I could do 2 houses in a day and have those be turnovers by myself, right? If I can get into a house early and only 2 of them are turnovers, I can do 3 houses. I can do 4 houses in a day if only 2 are turnovers, right? If I can get into one of them early, bada bing. I get into one right after they check out, bada bing. Do 2 in that time, but by 4 o'clock, I'm on to the last house. And if somebody needs to check in, it's going to be a slightly late check-in, but that's it. I love it. It's easy work, and it's easy money. I used to work my ass off out, sweating, breaking my back, for a pittance of what I make now. Of course, I don't work every day, but I can't, so that's perfect. I can work enough throughout the week, working a few hours here and a few hours there, to make my quota of bills, right? If I have something going on 1 or 2 houses every day for a week, my bills for the month are paid. So if I don't work a lot during 1 month, that's okay because I keep everything low. I don't have a lot of out. Therefore, if the shit ever hits the fan, you don't have to downsize. You know, which we've had to do before. And which, if the shit hits the fan, I may downsize just to make myself feel better, right? We've got a travel trailer that we use for storage. I think we're gonna empty it out, get rid of a bunch of crap, bring a bunch of crap and put it in the house and in our little shed, and then get rid of it. You know, we use it as storage, and I think we pay $35 a month for it to sit there, which is less than a storage unit. But still, it's a big trailer we don't need, and it's $35 going out we don't need, right? Now, if I could gut that thing and rebuild it on the inside, we'd probably want to keep it. I got a van that can pull it. If it's running right. Oy, don't get me started. So, yeah. I got a bong in here. I should do this before it gets too late. It's almost 5:30 here in the morning. I finally had to myself unfriend and block this twat on Facebook. I can't believe that I had a Karen on my friends list. I had a Karen in my friends list. Seriously. She was a fucking Karen. She told me that, seriously, that I should be put on a terrorist watch list because I want peace and freedom and no violence and no racism in this country. She told me I should paint my skin brown and move to Mexico. She was on my friends list, right? She's somebody that I went to high school with. And first she was upset because because I got down on people who were supporting what's happening in this country as if it's a good thing, right? And she kept throwing fentanyl and kept saying Mexico is responsible for this and Mexicans are responsible for that, and that's such a blatantly racist statement. And she didn't feel like she was being racist. Why? Because of her president. So she told me that I was a terrorist because I hated America, because I wanted peace. And then she claimed that I should paint my skin brown and move to Mexico. If you love Mexicans so much, why don't you just paint your skin? It's like, oh my God, you are such a kid. You are such a little baby. I know you are, but what am I? Fucking idiot. Fucking delusional twat, I swear to God. You know? And she's like one of millions. One of millions and millions of delusional twats, right? And for every one of her on Facebook, there's at least 1,000 of us. Right? So, how do we let these people get away with this shit? You know? I mean, I've got friends coming out that I haven't heard from in forever, and they're showing up saying, what is this bitch fucking saying? Do. And then I've got people who are posting stuff now, that people who are not political, and they're posting stuff saying this is bullshit, this enough is enough. You know? Enough is enough. And enough is enough. I'm sick of it. Get over yourselves, people. White is not perfect, okay? There are enough problems in this country to keep us fucking busy forever without having to go after a single immigrant or minority, right? The majority rules. The majority's got the majority of the fucking problems, you know? Okay, sure. So fentanyl comes through Mexico, through the Mexican cartel. Not Mexican people, not Mexico, the country, the government, through the Mexican cartel into the United States through the United States cartel, the drug cartel here. And we got a lot of those going on, all right? Most of them have become legal through the legalization of marijuana, and they no longer need to deal with bringing shit in over the border. They're doing just fine selling marijuana to Americans. American-grown marijuana. So if there is fentanyl coming into in from Mexico to the United States from China or wherever, right? Well, why is it here? Why is it coming here? Because people want it. Of course, she claims to think that I want it here. I don't even know what fucking fentanyl looks like, smell like, tastes like, or anything, right? What is it, a pill? I don't know. I don't care. Fentanyl does not involve me because I'm not going to do fentanyl. I'm not going to do anything that may contain fentanyl, right? So, if fentanyl is coming into this country, there must be a need for it. There must be a market for fentanyl. There must be Americans who are buying this fucking shit. Fix the problem in the United States. If fentanyl is being brought into the United States for Americans to be used by Americans, then maybe it's an American fucking problem. And if you fix the problem here, they can bring all the fentanyl into the fucking United States they want. It ain't going to do anything but sit on the fucking shelves and rot, right? But there is a problem. The disease in the United States is hate and social injustice. Fix these fucking problems. People won't want to fucking turn to the pills and the needles and the crack pipes and the trank and what fucking ever. As far as I'm concerned, if you're doing that shit, drugs that will end your life quick, it's just natural selection, people. I don't believe that drug addiction is an addiction. I don't believe that alcoholism is an addiction or disease, all right? You hate me if you want. I don't give a fuck. You choose to fucking do that shit. You choose to give yourself over to that, all right? The term disease was brought about by those who sell you the fucking shit. So you can decide, well, am I going to be an alcoholic with a disease, or am I going to be an upstanding citizen alcoholic with a fucking disease? It's all the same fucking thing, right? This is not a disease. It's a choice. It's a fucking choice. You make a choice, you live that fucking choice. You either decide to have the willpower to say fucking no and get off the shit, or you stay on it and ride your fucking shit until you die. I don't give a fuck, you know? Oh man, he's heartless. Yeah. I've grown up in the United States with people looking down on me just because I was different as a child, right? Just because I was different as a child. They don't have anything to fucking do, and I didn't deserve anything better than crap, right? So, you know, fuck those people on fucking Trank. Let them die in the fucking goddamn streets, you know? Oh, I'm so heartless, you know? Yeah, we got good people, immigrants, illegal or not, right? We got good people wanting to get shit done in this fucking country. All right, and you're just gonna round them up indiscriminately. Go into a town, clean house, whitewash it, and move on. Pick them all up. Pick up all the brown skin, get it out, and sort them out later. Just sort it out later. That's the agenda, is to pick them all up, brown skin, get as many as you can, take their IDs and stuff, and round them up. If they have ID and they can prove who they are, then keep the ID, so that next time they can't prove who they are. Well, that damn son of a bitch took my ID. Nah, they're not allowed to do that. They're not supposed to do that. Well, they did. Well, that's not allowed. It's not allowed. It's against the law. Then why are they doing it? Because this whole action right now is against the law, but the country is so fucked in the head right now and fucked up the ass that it's allowing this shit to happen. It's allowing all kinds of illegal shit to go on right now. Illegal search and seizure, illegal entry, illegal detention. There's all kinds of shit, you know, and stealing someone's ID. There you go. There's all kinds of nefarious shit going on, perpetrated by the federal government. Peacefully, people. I don't like what's going on in the streets. I don't like to see that. That shit breaks my fucking heart. You use the highway patrol to block off either end of a street so the street is safe. That's why highway patrol is there. And then everybody goes in there and they sit down and they listen to people speak about what's happening. And we go, yeah, change, right? We all sign petitions. We all get on our phones while we're sitting there, and we email the governor, the mayor, the chief of police, everybody. That's what we do collectively when we're at a march, at a protest, right? Or we get up and we march down the street, all right? You have to have highway patrol at either end of the fucking march. You have to have local police checking people out as they come and go, all right? So you don't have any bullshit going on. No masks allowed. Take your fucking mask off, asshole. I can wear a mask because I'm afraid of COVID. Fuck you. Ain't no fucking COVID. Take your fucking mask off. And make sure that when this shit happens, it happens for the right reasons. And the right way. And what's going on right now, from both sides, is pretty fucking stupid. The fact that we allowed we allow them to get under our skin and to get in with us and embed themselves in with us, and then they cause all this shit to happen. I swear, I bet dollars to donuts that most of the violence that took place at the protests was instigated by a few assholes that would find other assholes and get them riled up, right? And so on and so forth. But the initial assholes were plants. They were put there in order to make this go out of control so that they could get curfew, they could get martial law, they could change the laws, they could do all kinds of shit. And what do we do? We let them push us and push us and push us. We're being herded like cattle, and people don't even get it. If you're going to go out there and protest, do it peacefully. If you see somebody doing something violent, everybody point at that son of a bitch and have him fucking arrested and taken away, and then everybody sit the fuck back down. You see somebody getting violent, everybody point at that son of a bitch and say, this is the guy that fucking did it. Take him away and let us get on with our peaceful protest. No. You let those assholes instigate the shit and get under the skin of other assholes, and it just goes and it just goes and it escalates. I can't watch the news. It hurts to watch the news. I mean, literally hurts. I see my fellow humans, brothers and sisters, hating each other, and it's killing me. It's fucking killing me. I don't want to die with the planet like this. I don't want to leave my family in a country with fucking assholes and idiots. You know? At this point, I'm just holding on until I can figure shit out, you know, and get everybody safe and okay, and just try to have some kind of plan so that, you know, so that they're okay. Everybody dies. I just want to know that these assholes in the world aren't going to get to my girls. And right now they're everywhere. I can pick up a rock and throw it. I don't even have to throw it far, and I can hit an asshole who has the same fucking agenda. You know? I was at the gas station yesterday, and this older couple pulled up at the pump across from me. And I turned around to look into my van and turned back around, and the lady had looked at the back of my t-shirt that said Mexican Lives Matter. And I caught her pointing at my shirt and snickering with her husband something under her breath. And they both giggled, and she looked up at me just as I looked dead into her eyes. And I won't say what she said. But I pumped my gas sitting there, or standing there, looking at her through her fucking window. Her window was open. I was speaking into my breath. Her husband was right there closer to me pumping gas, so he undoubtedly heard me speaking under my breath about, you know, lousy fucking racist bigots who can't stand to see anything but fucking white. And so at some point, and she just, of course, she had to cover her mouth because she was smiling and giggling at me, right? So after a while, her smile turned to a frown, and she was sitting there, and she's looking straight ahead, looking out at me at the corner of her eye. She kept darting at me at the corner of her eye because she knew that I had busted her, and I was looking at her, and I was staring at her with fire in my eyes. And had I not the strength to hold myself back, I would have smashed his face into the gas pump and pulled her out of the window and just beat the hell out of her, right? But that's not the kind of person I want to be, right? And that's not the kind of person that I am. You know, I don't get into physical harm like that, because as a child I learned that when I do that, I can't stop. I can't hold back, all right? I jumped on my father once. He and my brother were playing around, and one of many times where they tried to get physical with me and get me involved in their tough guy macho play, right? Guys wrestle and do all that kind of stuff. And I take it as physical abuse. Like, I don't want to do this. Don't push me into, I don't want to wrestle. I don't want to, you know, get noogie. I don't want to do this, right? So don't. And they did. And my father just kept fucking with me, right? And so I just fucking jumped on him and just fucking started swinging like a fucking grayback gorilla, right? And he finally had to fucking push me off. And I could see fear in his fucking eyes, right? And same thing happened with my brother. He fucking kept fucking with me, and I just started fucking swinging at his face, bloodied his fucking nose, and was just ready to fucking kill him, you know, because that's what happens. So that's why I say, look, don't fuck with me, because one of us is going to the prison and one of us is going to the morgue, and that's just the way it's going to fucking end, because I cannot stop, all right? I cannot fucking stop. If you're going to push me and push me and push me, I'm going to become that little kid who was bullied his whole fucking life, and I'm going to freak the fuck out, and I'm not going to stop until you put me down. And you're going to have to put me down, because I won't fucking stop. I'm not going to stop until you're down or I'm down, period. And I just don't, at this point, I don't give a fuck anymore. So don't push me. I got nothing left. The world's taking everything from me. And I got about this much fucking life left in me. So don't push me, because I'll use that last little bit of life to take yours. Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with my life. And this goes to those people on Facebook, those fucking, you know, Facebook Karens, you know, who just fuck with the world. But you meet them in person, they're just going to smile and pretend like everything's okay until you turn your back, and then they're just going to pull out a knife and come at you, right? Well, I hope I never run into her, because I got no problem hitting a woman. If you're going to come up to me and swing, if you're going to come up to me, get in my face and start fucking, I'm just going to go, I'm going to knock you down is what I'm going to fucking do, you know? You want equal rights, you got equal rights. You got the right to be punched in the fucking face is what you got. So, for me, there is no man and woman anymore, all right? That's gone, all right? They're humans. That's all humans now. I don't see sex, I don't see color, I don't see race, I don't see religion, it's just humans. You're either a good human or you're a bad human. You're a fucked human or you're a nice human. You're evil or you're good. All right? What are you? That's all that matters. You're either nice or you're not. You're either a fucking idiot or you've got some fucking sense. Arr. So don't come at me, no matter who you are, all right? Because I will freak the fuck out. I will just freak the fuck out, and I won't stop. I won't. There will be no stopping me, all right? And that scares the fuck out of me. Not being able to fucking stop, because I will start looking around for equalizers. I will start looking around for things to use to cut you open or beat the fuck out of you or whatever, you know, like a fucking grayback. Just start picking shit up and slamming it down on you, knock you down, and then start kicking you, start jumping on you, you know, because I won't hold back. I won't. Nobody else seems to be able to hold back anymore. I'm constantly forcing myself to shut up because of some stupid thing somebody says or some stupid thing somebody does. You know, some asshole just pulls to an intersection and turns right without looking left and cuts me the fuck off, makes me slam on my fucking brakes and have to jerk around him, right? And then you pull up and you go, what the fuck? And they're like, fuck you, motherfucker. Come on, motherfucker. I just don't get it. So that's where I'm at right now. You fuck with me and I'm like, all right, let's go, motherfucker. Come on. I'm taking off my shirt. I'm throwing my fucking shit down. Let's fucking go. Taking the teeth out, you know, and then I'm taking yours out. And I seriously, I will start looking around for something to pick up and start fucking swinging, you know. I can't own a gun out in public. All right, I can't carry something. I can't have a gun in my back window of my truck. I can't do that, right? Even if it were legal to carry a firearm, I couldn't. I couldn't trust myself, you know. Some asshole that just keeps fucking with me every time I go to the fucking store, and he just keeps on with his fucking bullshit. Because all the son of a bitch would have to do would be to touch me just once, just bump into me. You know, just do this. And I'd pull out the gun and blow his fucking brains out. I would. You know? And that's because of a lifetime of being bullied by assholes and idiots and fucking Karens. And assholes and idiots. Twats, bitches, cunts. Better, holier than thou people, right? Those people. I've been fucked with enough by those people. Don't try to push your fucking racist fucking agenda on me, because I will fucking blow up in your face. And if you think that you can just like, push me away or punch me once, and it's going to be... You're sorely mistaken, all right? I will get the fuck back up, and I will come at you tooth and nail. I will scratch at your fucking face. If I don't have my teeth in, I will rip pieces of your face off and just swallow them. Right? I'll eat your face. Don't fuck with me when it comes to racism. All right? And I love the comment confrontation on Facebook, because that bitch showed her true colors. Everybody who read those comments knows now who that fucking bitch is. All right? A lot of those people that were like praising me in my comments and scorning her for hers, well, they know. They used to be friends. I'm sure that they'll probably still be Facebook friends, because most people, sorry to say, don't have the balls to just say, you know what, we're done. If that's the way you are, I don't want you. I don't want that in my life. I don't care if you're family, lifelong friends. I don't care if you were my best friend growing up. All right? If your attitude is positive about what is happening in the country right now, whitewashing it, we're done. I don't want to ever see you again. I don't want to know what your children are being raised to be like. I don't want to know anything about you, all right? Because obviously I was wrong the whole time, right? Whether you're a Karen or a Christian who's a racist, or somebody who just believes that everything that is happening is perfect. Yes, this country should be white again. Oh, thank the Lord. We have an orange president who will make everything white. If that's the way you feel, then we're done. I don't care who you are. Father, mother, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, best friend, co-worker, we're done. I don't want to ever talk to you again. Don't want to look at you. You disgust me. Completely, you know. And so what disgusts you about me? The fact that I want peace. I don't want violence. I don't want racism. All right? I want everybody to have an equal fucking opportunity. Right? And if you're gonna do this and round up the fucking bad guys. Go into a state and say, look, here's who we want. All right? And then allow a couple of fucking feds to go in and grab those few fucking people, and that's it. All right? You can't just indiscriminately round up everyone with brown skin. Or maybe you can. So, today versus yesterday, I got a lot less friends today than I had yesterday. Mainly because of my views. I have no political views. I am non-political, all right? My views are non-political. I think Washington, D.C. should be run by the citizens and not what's going on right now. It's being run by big business, corporate America, farm America. All of that is what's running the country. We're not. The people who we elect to run the country aren't running the country for us. They're running the country for themselves and their constituents who give them big fucking money, all right? I.e. lobbyists. Lobbying gets shit done. You throw a bunch of money into people's hands and they'll vote however you fucking want them to vote. That's what happens in Washington. Did you not study government? Do you not read anything anymore, people? They don't have to work for us. Once they get into office, they work for themselves, and they work for the constituents who pay them big fucking bucks. That's it. That's how they vote. They don't vote for us. They don't vote on things that are good for us. They take a really, really good bill, and they say, okay, we'll pass it, but you got to throw in all of this fucking shit that's stupid, right? Because the only way we're going to get this stupid shit passed is to tack it onto a bill that's really, really good. So the bill turns into shit. And a lot of people see that and don't let it pass. But most of the people who let it pass get paid. Read a book, people. Read a book. Nobody knows about eugenics. Why would they know about their own government? their own government who perpetrated eugenics upon us 100 years ago. I gotta warm up my coffee. And bring down the anger. Well, after about 2 weeks, my neck is still killing me, but gosh, today is the best it's been in those 2 weeks. I got great movement now. It hurts, but I have great movement. So we'll see how it is today after I go clean a house and scrub some toilets and that kind of shit. But there you go. There you go. Let's see. You know what? If I could have brown skin, I would. I'd love to go out into the world with brown skin right now. I would. Just fuck with me. No, I mean, moving to Mexico? What, are you kidding me? I've thought about that totally. You know, paint your skin brown and move to Mexico. You love Mexicans so much. Well, I do. Because they're my fellow brothers and sisters. If you don't, well, then I don't love you. I mean, if you can't love the people around you just because they're human, you're fucking dumb. Those are your family members, man. We're all related, you idiot. Just because we have different views, right? And look different and come from different places, you're going to hate? Well, that's what I hate. I hate people who just hate because I'm going to hate you. I'm going to hate you. You're brown. I hate you. You're from someplace else. You're from that dirty country. I hate you. You like that book. I hate you. You like that TV show. I hate you. Well, then I hate you, hater. I hate haters. And I hate ignorance. Ignorance begets all of this fucking hate and racism and stupidity, you know? If you can't look across, you know, across the hallway, across the street, at somebody completely different than you, and see them as your fellow human, your brother or your sister or something, there's something wrong with you, especially nowadays when we know that we're all related, that we're all part of the same fucking big plan here. Whatever that is, we got to figure that out. But we can't figure it out if we're all pissed off at each other and looking in different directions. God, I hate fucking haters. Haters are the ones that I just want to pick up by the face and just beat their fucking head into the ground until they're just mush, right? Because there's no sense in that, right? You make me a hater, and that I fucking hate that. Oh. I go out every day with such a nice, peaceful, positive outlook on life, and I come across some fucking asshole, idiot, Karen, racist fuckhead, you know, and I just have to fight to explode, you know. I have to fight to keep from following them around the store and echoing every fucking Karen remark they make, just so they can fucking hear themselves anew. Yeah, some days I'm pissed off and I don't want to get along with the world, you know, but I really try. It's hard not to blow up at those assholes and idiots. So I do on occasion. Or I do. On occasion I will, oh, are you fucking kidding me? Use your fucking head, asshole. Huh? Oh, what? Oh, sorry, sir. No, you're not. You're fucking sorry you'd use your fucking brain, asshole. Oh, okay. That's not nice. Well, you ain't smart. So, you know, it's a push. There you go. So sometimes, yeah, I literally have to tell my wife, I can't go out today. I can't go out into the world. I can't do it. If we go to the store, I'll drive, but I'm not going in. I can't deal with people today. Because literally, I'm saving people from me. All right, I'm not saving me from hassles. I'm saving them from me, because there are days when I know that if you have a situation with somebody you're gonna have to pull me off of them, or they're gonna call the cops, right? So I just don't go out, which means I don't go out a lot. I don't go out much at all. If we go out once a day, it'll be to the store, or to go, work, or to take the car to the shop or something, right? It's something little. So we don't do a lot. We don't have a huge, extravagant lifestyle, so therefore we don't have to have huge, giant incomes, right? We spend more time together than we do out in the world separate. To me, that's life, all right? Coming home for 3 hours and sitting in front of the TV listening to people go blah, 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 and all you want to do is just watch TV, zone out from having been at work for 16 hours, and then go to sleep, because in 6 hours you got to get up and go out and do it again, right? That's no way to live. And I see so many people throwing away their lives doing that just so they can have the big house and big car and the big this and that and then the vacation, but they never really get time to spend together. So therefore, the kids move out of the house because they're just sick of it. Nobody's ever around, and you get to retirement and your wife is like, I'm out of here. I don't know you. I know this guy over here that I spend more time with, and it just kills me that people are so wrapped up in modern slavery that they don't see a way out. The only way out they see is maybe paying off some credit card debt, and trying to getting out from under some of the big bills. It's like, come on, man. Why do you think so many people are homeless? So many people are living the van life, right? So many people are just giving up on this so-called American dream, because it's not an American dream. It's an illusion. It's built up to make you think that's what you want. But when you get into it and you get those things, you start realizing that it's all an illusion. The perfect family does not exist in that. In very rarely, okay, does it exist. All right. You see that perfect family with the 3 kids and the 4-bedroom house and the 2-car garage and the 3 cars, and you think, wow, these people have got it made. The house is twice mortgaged. They're behind on the car payments, right? The kid wants to go to college and they can barely afford to keep everything afloat, right? So they got to go to city college, which is okay, but we're going to need another car, right? And it's just, it goes on and on and on. And the fact that the parents have to work so much, the kids are in school so much, they get a couple of hours together every day. That's it, a couple of hours. Out of a 24-hour period a day, you see your family a couple of hours maybe. And that's just because you're home at the same time. You're off in your own. The dad's on the couch with the game, and mom's in the kitchen on the phone. The kids are doing homework and playing games and stuff in their rooms. So how much time do you really get together? I'm going to take dinner out tonight because I got to go to the library and meet Kim, and we're going to study, right? Got a game tonight. I'm gone. Oh yeah, be sure to get me. Remember, I need new stuff for my uniform. I'm getting bigger now, and I'm going to need new this, new that. And, the kids, they need braces, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And I don't know how people can keep it together and do that, honestly. We have one child, and the only way we keep it together is just by keeping everything minimum, right? So that everything else can be funneled toward taking care of that child, that person, and making them the best they can be, right? Sure, we could put our daughter to work and she could bring in some more money into the house, and then where would she be, right? No, we can manage. Why don't you just stay in school? You just stay in school, keep going to school. You're never home at the same time with your dad or brother. I tell you, Joey, that's just not right. Like, if you were to move out here, I would want you to find a job where you only had to work 4 or 5 or 6 hours a day during a period where everybody else is kind of busy, so that when you did come home, and if you lived here, And if you did come home, we'd have all this fucking time to do shit. Not, well, I got to eat and I got to take a nap and then I got to go to sleep and then I got to do this and, Who takes a nap before they go to sleep? I do. Sometimes I'm so fucking exhausted, I got to take a nap, get up, have a snack, and then go right back to sleep. And just sleep for the night. Yeah, I don't get that kind of lifestyle. I guess mainly because my parents never lived it. While my dad had a 9-to-5 job a lot of times. He was mainly a student, a career student. I never saw my mother work. She worked, but I never saw her work. Mainly because she worked in Hollywood at a massage parlor. Yeah, my family, if they're watching, they're going, "Oh man, how dare you?" Yeah, I got nothing to fucking hide. My life is my fucking life, and this show is about my life. So it's the realest reality show out there. If you want real, this is real. So I never knew about work ethic, right? I never learned about keeping a 9-to-5 job all the time, So when I did start doing that, actually I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed having that structure of work, right? Getting up, getting ready, going to work, working, having lunch, working, maybe working a little extra, and then coming home, and then having that routine. Your dad's home today because of the roof, of course. Got to take a day off. Got to deal with the insurance company and estimates and all that crap. Doesn't that suck? Doesn't it just fucking suck, man? Yeah, it does. It does. It totally sucks. Just pardon me. It totally sucks, man. Well, I mean, do you guys own or rent? I'm assuming that your dad probably owns. But, what have you. But if you don't own, that's even better, because then you can just say, hey, deal with this. Hey, my house is broke, deal with it. If you own, then you're the guy you call to deal with it. You are the guy. Hey, oh wait, I'm the guy. Oh man, I gotta deal with it. And then you're your phone, waiting for people to show up. It's like, fuck, man. You hope you can get it done in one day. Or at least get the ball rolling in one day, so then after that it's just phone calls, right? You can do that from work. Yeah, okay, all right, whatever. Totally, man. I got a bong hit. I think this is number 3 for this morning, and it's, wow. Well, it's 6 a.m. here on the Pacific West Coast. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you guys owned it. It looks like that kind of neighborhood that you would own. Most people don't rent in a neighborhood like that. It's too expensive. I mean, to rent a house in that neighborhood, it would probably run, wow, thousands and thousands, man. I figured you'd be waiting for people to show up. Yep. Yeah, you gotta have the guy come by and look at it and go, yeah, that's a tree. And then you got the guy come back. He'll come by and he'll go, yep, we can take it down for you. I'll send the guy over to give you an estimate. And then you're just waiting for guys will send over other guys. Yeah, I'll send over my guys. Yep. Yes, sir. Let's move to Colorado. What do you think, Joey? Some people rent in your neighborhood? Yeah, I bet it's expensive. Or it's a crap house with a crap landlord. I ain't fixing nothing. You're on your own. I've had those landlords before. Nah, I ain't fixing that. No. You want the place? Because I'll rent it to someone else. If you don't want to rent, I'll give it to someone else. Someone else will take this crap hole. They don't want to put money into it. Fuck that. Fuck that, man. That's just too much hassle. Too much fucking hassle. Let's read from some TV Guide. Let's do that. Let's read from the old TV Guide. Today is Friday. So let's read from Friday, June 18. June 18, Friday. Let's go to the evening, and let's see what is on Star Trek. Syndicated at 6 o'clock. Kirk seeks an antidote to paradise when his crew deserts the Enterprise for a planet where colonists enjoy an idyllic existence. Ooh, Jill Ireland. Ooh. Yeah. Let's see. At 6:30, War of the Worlds. Gene Barry, Ann Robinson. 1953. I love that movie, especially Ann Robinson. She has got one of the prettiest smiles. Yeah, Colorado's awesome. We should look into it. Let's get like a collective commune thing going. Get maybe one or two other people that are like, yeah, let's do that, and then we'll plan like next summer to move. Right? God, I wish it could be now. My daughter's got to finish school. If she could transfer and graduate, that would be great. Or, you know, one of us goes out and, you know, sets some stakes and gets some property and gets things started. That'd be great too. I could do that. But I can't leave the girls. I can't leave the girls. I could do stuff and coordinate stuff and actually do some physical stuff. But yeah. Let's see. At 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. June 18th, 1976, on a Friday. Woman. Changes in newspaper women's pages from the late 60s to present are detailed by Judy Klenzerud of the New York Times and Barbara Hinton of the Las Vegas Review. And then, of course, we got the other stuff. Ironside, To Tell the Truth, 1999. That's later Space, 1999. Oh, that's what it is. So, Adam 12, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, Truth or Consequences, Mike Douglas, 7:30, Bewitched Newsroom, Match Game PM, Lawrence Welk, Hollywood Squares, here we go. Hal Linden, Jimmy Walker, Shirley Jones, Joan Rivers, John Davidson, Sandy Duncan, and Marty Allen. At 8, Donnie and Marie with Milton Berle, and Mira, and Nipsey Russell. There you go. Sanford and Son, it's a repeat. Sarah. Sarah is a drama. Sarah finds herself falling for a dashing dynamiter who has to perform a risky blasting operation at a local silver mine. Brenda Vaccaro is Sarah. Bert Kramer, Albert Stratton, Bert Kramer, William Phipps, Henry Darrow. Totally. I've never heard of that show, Sarah. I'm not a big fan of Brenda Vaccaro. She kind of falls flat for me. The Last Rebel, Joe Namath, 1971. 8:30, The Practice, comedy. Vic Tayback, David Spielberg. Wow. Shelley Fabares. Yeah. I've never heard of that one either. Wall Street Week. 9, Olympic Visions, 1973 documentary about 1972's Munich Olympics. Oh, yeah. There you go. Also at 9, June 18th, 1976, Friday, The Rockford Files. Simply Rockford Files here. Evening at Symphony. Also at 9 is The Culpeper Cattle Company. That's a good movie. It's a decent movie. 2 hours. Let's see. And then at 10, Police Story. Nova, Inside the Shark. Love American Style at 10:30. U.S. Open. Dick Van Dyke. Rookies. Anything important? Mary Hartman. Nothing real exciting. We got Midnight Special with Seals and Crofts, Freddie Fender, Tanya Tucker, Eddie Kendrick, Thelma Houston, Genesis, right on, dude. That is great. And Billy Joel. Wow. Vaya con Dios by Freddie Fender. Wow. It doesn't say what Genesis does. At 1:40 in the morning, a movie adventure, The Killing Ground, 1972, World War II melodrama about British efforts to combat a Nazi superweapon by blowing up a vital dam. Richard Harris, Henry Fernharter, and James Colby. I remember this movie. I remember that movie. As soon as I started reading it, I thought, wow, this sounds, The Killing Ground, this sounds familiar. There we go. You get a free present when you buy Mattel preschool toy at any of these stores. And here's the ad here, and it's got a bunch of different stores on here, right? Preschool stuff, so getting ready for school, right? And we got stores like JCPenney in Bakersfield and Fresno, Hanford, Madera, Merced has got a Mervyn's and Young Toys and Hobby, San Luis Obispo at JCPenney, Tulare JCPenney, Visalia JCPenney, Gemco, Mervyn's, Visalia Toy. Of course, this is a Central California edition of the TV Guide for 1976. And I love my TV Guide collection. I've got a drawer here filled with TV guides. And that is the TV guide that we had for this week. I'm going to pull up and I'll go through and get to June. It's like a filing cabinet. And I've got one more for June, and it's got Laverne and Shirley on the cover. Woohoo! That's awesome. And then I'll see what I've got for July. We'll see what we've got for July TV. So back to Colorado. Yeah, Colorado sounds great. We could actually get a piece of property in Colorado, and I could literally move onto it and camp, so to speak, and do like the van life with a travel trailer and park on a piece of property, preferably with some kind of dwelling that just needs some fixing up, right? But use the trailer to transport stuff behind the van and go to Colorado. I love making plans and dreaming and doing this kind of stuff. It's fun. I've made, for every plan that I carry out and actually make happen, I make 1,000 plans. Because it's fun. It keeps me, keeps me going. But yeah, go to Colorado, get a little 5-acre, 10-acre piece of land with a little tiny cabin on it, right? Something you can live in year-round, something that needs a little work, and just go there and just set up, and one or two people, one person, and then visits by occasional people to help get things rolling, and then just say, okay, look, now it's ready. Let's all move in onto the property. Everything's done there. Let's shift gears over to here. One person over there making connections and getting things set up and finding work and getting, houses to clean, because vacation rentals are everywhere. Outside of Pueblo, Colorado is like open country. Any direction outside Pueblo is open countryside. Mountains, hills, prairies, the works. Live in the mountains in a cabin, live along a river, live on a plain. You could literally go further south and you're in like a desert climate. It's like a Minecraft map, Colorado, right? They've got everything. The only thing they don't have is an ocean. It's landlocked. But other than that, they got everything, right? So I'd totally do that. And Pueblo is along a river, and it has a major university, which means it's got everything. All right, that's pretty much, if you got a major university in your town is set, because it's big enough to have that. It has enough people and stuff in it to have the need for a university. So, yeah, I've done a lot of research on Colorado because it's been one of those dreams that's been there for like 20 years. So there's a lot up here. We were actually really close. There was a point living here out in this area where I was really close to just picking up stakes and moving, right? I was getting a settlement from my car accident, and it was like, okay, the size of the settlement is going to determine, of course it was crap, so we didn't, but that's going to determine whether we go and how we go. And I literally found several righteous places to go to for pennies on the fucking dollar, right? They just need a roof, they just need some fixing up, they just need this or that, you know, a little bit of back taxes. I mean, but really just cheap places with property. Oh, you know, you drive 20, 30 minutes out of Pueblo up into the mountains to a cabin on 2 acres, right? There's so much of that out there. It's like out here. You drive out into the desert and you find one of those little cabins out in the middle of it, and they're out here everywhere. Same thing out there. A little hunting lodge, a little hunting cabin, somebody had in the family for years, now they want to get rid of, and there's not a big market for it, so they're just letting it go for a decent price. You pay cash, you get an even better deal, right? And you put a huge down on it, and a minimal monthly payment, and you keep a short mortgage on it, right? If you have to do a mortgage, you know, just a year of saving would be enough to buy a place outright up there, literally. Because if you got 2 or 3 people working and saving, then within a year's time you got a piece of property, or you get enough to put it down on a piece of property and say, okay, we're going to pay it off within 5 years. And then within a year, you save up enough money to pay it off and move out there. Or pay it off and then some more money to, you know, or enough money to get out there and build it up so you live out there and work. And then spend another year or so paying it off and get paid off early. And you can do that. You can do that with property or a new car. Just pay it off early. Get out from under it. So that would be a dream that I would love. Yeah, let's save and do that. Let's do that. I know I could probably talk the girls into it. Yeah. And then there's also the finding of the right piece of property between now and then just saying, okay, well look, there's the right piece of property, and it's cheap, and if we jump on it now, we can get it, and then you know, take all the savings so far and put it into it, and then have a small thing to deal with later. But getting 1 or 2 people out there on the property right away to start working the property, right? Making the house, making the dwelling actually livable for the right amount of people, and if not, adding to it so that there's enough. And when you're up in the mountains, out in Colorado, out in places like that, you're not bogged down by the county showing up saying, you can't do that, you got to pay this, you can't do that, you got to pay this, right? So I'll have to go back to my research, but I believe that was one of the reasons why I chose that place. Because you can do that. You can set up on a little piece of property with a little cabin and then add this and add that and a little tiny home and another outbuilding, you know. So I'm all for it, you know. I am totally all for it. And, you know, since I'm not really a productive guy, I would be willing to be the guy to go, right? And get the ball rolling, right? Take the van, drive out there, set up, put a trailer out there, take the tools, fix up the inside of the place, put a roof on it. I can put a roof on a cabin. I can put a roof on a small house. That's no problem. I can do it from the truss up if I have to. If I just have to re-roof the outside, I could do that. Get a local kid to come out and help me on occasion. But, I could re-roof something. I could do interior work. I can paint. I can do exterior restoration, And as long as I'm not required to hustle on somebody else's clock, and that's all I'm required to do, I can knock that shit out easily, The only reason I can't do a lot of stuff around here is because besides this, I'm required to do a lot of other stuff that occupies my time. I don't get paid for a lot of it, but I am occupied. But if I had every day to spend about 4 hours a day working on a piece of property or a dwelling, and then have the rest of the day to recover and recuperate and worry about the other things, networking the neighborhood, getting to know the area, all of these other important things, so that when the clan shows up to the compound, it's an actual compound, and it's ready. It's ready for people. That would be fucking awesome. I could totally do that. Because I'm just stagnating at this point. I'm ready to fix this place up enough and sell it, or sell it for really cheap after we gut it. Take the fence, take the wall, take the shed, everything within here that means anything, and just gut it back to where it was and get what we paid for it. I could do that. We could get that taken care of really quick. And then just move on. Come and drive down and fill up a big trailer full of shit and take it home. And then just keep doing that until there's nothing here, nothing left, and nobody. Except somebody who wants to buy it for real cheap. Just so we can get out from under it. Totally. Otherwise, we sell it to the park for $1. Sell it to the park for $1 so that they now own it, and then they can rent it out or sell it, whatever they want to do with it, right? Because we only paid a few $1,000s for this, right? So if it were fixed up, I could get several, perhaps tens of thousands. But if we don't, well, then there's no required profit to be made off of it, and we could just let it go. As long as we're not responsible for, look, we're going to get out from under it. We don't want to be responsible for the rent anymore, so we'll give it to you for $1 if you can just let us out of the lease. That's it. So we could do that. Move on. I'm ready. I'm ready for a change. I love California. I was born and raised here. But I've lived elsewhere, and I could do elsewhere again. I don't want to go to a place I've already lived, so Colorado sounds great. Colorado sounds new and exciting, and there's weather, and there's actual seasons. We got 2 seasons here, hot and cold. That's it. That's all we got. I'd like to go to a place where the trees changed colors, and there was occasional snow, and there was groundwater and clean air and that kind of stuff. And Colorado pretty much is the closest place with all of that. And a lot more freedom, too. So, yeah, I would totally. I know everything just got really quiet, man. Everything's real quiet. Shh. Stop it. So, yeah, that would be great. That would definitely be great. That's my Post-its. I should draw a little cartoon so I can flip through them. That's what's great about Post-its, the little Post-it things, is you can make cartoons and just flip through them, little flip book cartoons. How many people out there used to make flip book cartoons? I am going to write in next week's notes, flip book cartoon. And we'll do one of my favorites, which is a rocket ship. And I like to do the old school rocket ships, right? And I like to make the rocket ship cartoony, like it's alive. Like, so it starts off and it goes, shoots up into the air, and it's got sputtering behind it, and its fins wiggle a little bit, and its nose kind of like it's almost alive, like a fish or something, right? Or a guy taking a hand grenade and throwing it, and it drops behind him, and then he goes, oh, and then it blows up, like Mr. Bill or something. Yeah, totally Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Anybody familiar with Mr. Bill? I was going to put some Mr. Bill on one of my video time machines, and I had to edit it out. It was a Saturday Night Live thing, and they have copyright on it, and they said nope. So I didn't get to use Mr. Bill on a video time machine, so I won't be using any Mr. Bills. I was hoping to do like one on an occasion. Yeah, they're only 3 or 4 minutes long, So I'll just settle with the old Betty Boop and Felix the Cat and Bosco and that kind of shit, Yeah. So anyway, I'll start looking at, since I love to do research and planning and stuff, I'll start looking at Colorado. Colorado, and then I'll just say, what? With some question marks. There we go. Colorado, what? And I'll look into it. And we'll see what it's like out there, what the building codes are like, and what can you do living out, how can you live being out so far off the grid, can you live off the grid, what is it like living off the grid, what would be nice is if we moved to a place that had its own well, its own septic system, and solar electricity. That's off the grid. That's completely off the grid. That would be perfect. Something like that. Everything doesn't have to be working, right? If the solar stuff is like, it's old, but it's usable, then we'll take it. If the septic line is, the leach bed is broken up, the tank needs to be replaced, that's fine, whatever. Get a backhoe out there, dig a hole, and I'll do the rest. Hey, be right back. Don't go away. If the house is falling apart, that's okay. As long as it's still standing, it can be repaired, right? But it would take like 2 people going out, investigating the few properties, and then getting the right property. I hate a hangnail, so I'll shave it off with my pocket knife here, nice and smooth. A couple of people go out there, investigate, perhaps make a deal, and then come back, and then 1 or 2 people go out there and get things set up, and one person stays and the other person comes back to the world. And the person staying out there would just have a list of responsibilities. It's like, okay, by the time we get another visit out there, these things have to be set up and done, right? Before the weather starts, this stuff has to be done. We get the property right at the end of the winter, right into spring, so we've got all summer and through most of the fall to work and get shit done, right? So that would be awesome. Over like a 8-month period. Over an 8-month period, we would get like maybe a half dozen visits out there to help with a few things, right? So, and Colorado, it's just a drive out, hop in the car and drive out, do some stuff, and then go back. And then somebody just stays out there and keeps shit going on, stays with the livestock, stays with the property, keeps the greenhouse working, makes sure that we're stocking up food, we're doing this, we're doing that. I could totally dig that, And then to have Pueblo right there, So whenever you need big city stuff, it's like driving down into Palm Springs or Coachella Valley. You're like right there. The only difference is we're not in the desert. We're in the mountains. We're in the trees. That would be great. That would be great. Coffee. Okay, I'm going to heat up my coffee, so I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm heating up my coffee. 6:30. Hear me now and think about it later. All right. Let's see. Let me go over to here before I forget. Before I forget, let me turn off the sound. I'm going to... Hey! I had to call your mom. Well, there you go. That's a good son. You didn't have to. You wanted to. Okay, let's start up some tuber here. And we will go to the tuber and we will find Eddie Money. Eddie Money. Eddie. Eddie Money. Eddie Money. Eddie Money. Eddie Money. All right, here we go. Okay. Eddie Money. Full album. There we go. Baby, hold on to me. There it is. Eddie Money albums. That's not. I want just the one. There it is. Top album. No, that's not it. I see the right picture. Eddie Money remaster. That's close. I'd rather have it on vinyl. But it doesn't look like I'm going to get that. So I'll settle for that one. That is Eddie Money playlist 2022 remastered. Okay. So I'll settle for that. And we'll shoot over to my show and load the show. Oh, yeah, baby. Hot. Good and hot. And let's load up number 4 here for this morning. We're not doing as much this morning, I guess, because my pain really, really eased up last night. And even better now that I've been awake. Usually it gets worse as I'm awake, but it's really loosened up. And a couple of bong hits has helped. Let's see. Okay, we are going to go to chat. And we're going to load up the Eddie Money album there. And we are going to do Eddie Money. What is it, 80? 77, wow. 1977. Full album, and we don't have to say who it is because it's fucking Eddie Money. There we go. All right. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna research Colorado, find out what's going out there in the market now, see what's happening. It should be a buyer's market out here pretty soon, mainly because the market is just flooded with houses for sale, and there are so many vacation rentals. That market is flooded, so a lot of people are just wanting to get out from underneath these houses they bought to turn into an Airbnb, and then they find out that there's 3,000 other Airbnbs out here in this town. That's the fact, Jack. So it's good for us because no matter what happens, there's always an Airbnb to clean. We can just say, hey, we need another place, and then 20 people are beating down our door. So there's always somebody who says, hey, if you guys ever need another place, I'll fire my cleaner. So we should have no problem getting set up in Colorado. Just drive into Pueblo, clean a couple of places, go to the store, and come home. You know? And I'd love to set you up with that, Joey, right? We each, you know, work in teams and go out and clean houses, do a couple of houses a day, a few days a week, and have the rest of the time to devote to the property and to hanging out and doing stuff, right? We had 5 acres in the mountains when I was a teenager. We rented it, my parents rented it, and they only had it for 6 months because that was the length of the lease, and they fucked themselves out of the lease by not paying rent. So we had this place for 6 months. We were supposed to lease to own, but they just couldn't deal with it. Mainly because we were too far away from where my father worked and my mother didn't work. And it was just, it just didn't work. But there was 5 acres, and I literally had a plan for every fucking square inch of that 5 acres, right? I myself went out along the front piece of the property that was all giant brush and willows and stuff, 20, 30 feet in from the fence all the way around most of the property. And I went in myself and cut a path through all of this stuff along the fence so that you could walk through the property and through this path and not see the fence and not see the house and not see anything and kind of be on a little nature trail around. We had horses. We had a big giant garden. We had a big three-bedroom mobile home, a big giant oak tree. I built this tree house staircase and landing up into this tree house, right? And before I could build the tree house, we had to sell. But I built this fucking staircase up into this place where the platform was going to be. And I just started from the ground up. And then I was going to put in posts, and I was going to have this thing hanging in the tree without actually being nailed to it. Another dream of mine is to have a giant tree in a tree house. But yeah, to live on a little 5-acre piece of property, surrounded by trees, right? That would be great. That would be great. Maybe not necessarily surrounded by trees, but to be on like the edge of a forest with a few trees on your property, right? So that most of your property sees the sun, right? And if you want a tree, you can plant a tree, but I don't want to live in a forest, right? I don't want to be surrounded by hundreds of trees around you on your property where you can't do anything, and it's just a fire hazard, right? I would prefer to be on the edge of a forest so that if it burns, you can save yourself and your stuff, but mainly so you can have land and sky, right, to do something. If I was going to live in a hunting lodge and just be me and not do anything, yeah, in the middle of a forest surrounded by, you know, trees and stuff so I can hide, sure. But to develop a nice little 5 acres into a compound where, you know, it can exist like on a communal basis, you know, it's like, all right, here are the monthly bills projected. Let's shoot for that. And then everybody else shoots for their own surplus, for their own needs, right? Let's do that. The more like-minded people you have on the property, yeah, just make sure they don't fall on your roof. Exactly why I would want to be in an area where you can control what's happening, right? You grow your trees that you want. Totally. But yeah, get a few like-minded people or whatever together who want to exist like that, you know. They want to have a little tiny home over here. They want to have a little garden, a little yard for their dog, you know, and build a little shed for some stuff. And be able to have those things because rent is really cheap because you're part of a communal plan to coexist, you know, and make shit happen. you know. And then eventually the main house becomes more of a central hub than a dwelling, right? It becomes the community center. It's a 2-bedroom house, so now people aren't living in the 2 bedrooms. Those rooms are now for other stuff, right? Somebody wants to run a business, so we use one of the rooms for an office, you know, and the other one is a library, music room, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many cool ways to make something like that happen. I'd be totally on board. Get a couple other people, you know, maybe, who are like, yeah, let's do that. I don't want to spend my whole life slaving away and working and then wind up with nothing, you know. Let's figure it out. Let's get somebody to be like somebody who's trustworthy and responsible to be in charge of the paperwork, so to speak, right? And then have a contract that just says, look, these are the people living on this property. These are the people who share in the property. This is the person or persons on the deed, but it is part of almost like a corporation, right? A co-op, if you will. And then have that, you know, okay, look, here's the legal owners of the place, but it is a co-op, which means that they are beholden to this group of people in equal shares of the co-op. So if this person is selling this property, it's a part of the plan for the co-op, right? And everybody after the sale shares in equal profit or equal reimbursement for it. If it decides to go this way and it's like, oh, no, it's not going to work, these people got to go, you know, because they're not into it anymore, or they've changed plans and they're going this way now, whatever. Opt out, opt somebody else in, you know, and just have kind of like a master plan. So it's run like a loosely based type business, right? And the business is to take care of the property and the people on it and the animals and the plants and that kind of stuff. You know, it sounds kind of fantasy world stuff, but it's going to be so easy to do. All you have to do is have people who care and people who you can trust. That's kind of hard to find, but you know, I think if you look, you can find those people. Sometimes you don't even look and they find you. So, yeah, Colorado. I'll have to start saving satellite images and looking through real estate stuff again. I'll go to the county site and look through the different codes for building and dwellings and that kind of stuff. What does it take to live on a piece of property? How big does the house have to be? Can you just move onto a piece of property in a frickin' tent? Can you set up a yurt, right? That kind of shit. Can you park a trailer on 5 acres in Colorado and live there? Right? Google. Yes, you can. And what's neat is there's already places out there. I mean, I found so many places in so many different areas around Pueblo within 30 minutes to an hour out, you know. Yeah, there's just so much possibilities. With or without Wi-Fi, I don't care. I could give all of this up in a heartbeat and do it differently, right? Do a bunch of stuff and then take it to the library and get on the Wi-Fi and load a bunch of shit up once a week or once a month. You know, fuck it. Or don't do anything at all. Just give up the whole tuber life and just get on to something else. You know, and this was never meant to be a forever thing, you know. I assume that it might be the rest of my life, but definitely not forever, right? Like, it could go on for a couple of months or a couple of more years or something. But I don't expect this to just have a longevity that's like unending. So I would totally give up all the time that I invest into this and throw that into something else every day. And whether that's going somewhere and working on a new piece of property to move into, or giving it all up here so I can invest that time into here, getting ready to move, whatever. Picking up out of here and moving to some place that's even more cost effective, right? Something with a few more bedrooms. And then from there, moving to Colorado. Whatever. Stay here because it's super cheap. And then just boom, 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 within a year, save up, $100,000 and move. Yeah, that's possible. Start with enough here so that we can put a down payment or get a place because it's so fucking cheap. And then somebody goes out and gets started while people are here getting ready to go there or getting the means to ready the place, So there's so much. During the 90s, I actually created a whole, late 80s, early 90s, I created a whole plan for my father and I to move to Alaska. Seriously. We were going to move to Alaska. And then I had friends who tried to go to Alaska to work at a ski resort, and because one of them was with me when we got arrested we got falsely accused and got arrested and spent 3 days in jails, and then the charges were dropped and all that, but it was still on a record, right? So this guy could not go through Canada. Their plan was to take a bus or drive through Canada or something, right? Up the Alaska Highway. And they couldn't. They had to literally change plans and fly. Because he couldn't go through Canada because he had a criminal record. And the criminal record was charges dismissed. So once I found out about that, it was like, well, that's a good thing that never happened, because we'd have planned and planned and planned and got to the border and been denied. Right? And would have had to turn around and come back or just stay there in Washington. So, and I like the idea of moving to a place where I don't know anybody really, and I've got no relatives really, and I'm sure there's a couple of people that I know that may be living in Colorado. But, it's not like they have to go out of their way to see me or I them. And that's, that's fine. That's totally fine. I get it. I really wouldn't want to move to a place where I've got any of my relatives, maybe my wife's relatives, but none of mine. We just don't have any use for each other, I guess. There you go. At least that's what I get. We don't have any use for each other. Well, we got about 12 minutes left of the show. I don't know what's going on next week. I don't know yet. I'm sure it'll be more of the same. I put together a video time machine last night in about an hour and a half. I created just over an hour-long episode of the video time machine. I think I did pretty good. I don't think I did any movie trailers. I didn't have time. It would have been an hour and a half long episode. And I was like, an hour is fine. An hour is good. It's an hour long episode. I almost put in another 25-minute episode of something. And then I'm like, oh, God, it's just too much. If I do that, I'm going to need more commercials, and then I'll definitely have to do movie trailers. And I really wasn't in the mood last night after all of that Karen shit. I just wasn't in the mood. I'm in the mood for this, though. Last bong hit of the show. It's number 4 or 5. I lost track. So I'll be off bong hits for the rest of the day, using my little one-hitter to conserve. And because the pain is gone. It's not gone, but it's gone enough to where I feel like, you know what? I don't need to be inebriated. Sometimes it is hard to function when I'm trying real hard to bring my pain down. My energy level comes down too, and it's hard to balance bringing the energy down and the pain down and keeping the energy up. And sometimes it's caffeine, energy, protein drink, but usually it's not, and usually it's just a nap. The only way I can get through the pain and the drowsiness is to just take a nap. Unfortunately, if I lay down too long, that nap can lead to pain, and then it's like, I'm just feeding it. I'm real excited about thinking about Colorado. One of our plans here was to just move to Colorado and just kind of leave the crap here and just go and just start new out there. It's kind of hard to do that. I mean, first of all, you have to have money to get there and then stay there, and then money to live while you're networking and getting started. That's why I love the idea of a point man going out, doing the recon, a couple of guys going out, doing some recon and coming back, and then making a plan to go back and get something done, and then one person stays and the other person comes back, you know, and that means like 2 cars and a van, a trailer and a car go out with a bunch of stuff and get set up, do the physical stuff with the 2 people, and then a person leaves and one person stays there, maybe with a dog, maybe not, maybe with a new dog, right? So that there's company out there. Leaving the family and the animals, that's the hard part, right? But then again, maybe splitting up. A couple stays here and a couple goes out there. You know, mom and dad go out there and a couple of kids stay here, and then they get stuff finished, get things wrapped up, and then boom, you know. And I could go out there and get set up and get networked so that then my wife comes out and we're both working, making shit happen, getting the property set up. And then, you know, and then you guys and whoever else is coming out is finishing school or you know, getting ready to move into a new position, whatever, you know. And all the time saving up money and building the property, getting 2 things done at once, you know. And then people just start filtering out there as it gets ready and as people are ready, you know. And the way the world's connected, it's real easy to do that stuff and get people set up before they get there. Look, when you get out here, you got a job set up for you. Boom. You know, the school's ready to take you. Boom. Whatever, baby. And a big town like that also means that there's plenty to do. It's not boring. There's entertainment, places to go, things happening, you know. But you're still way out in the sticks. And maybe invest in a couple of pieces of property. I was looking at, when I was thinking about it the first time, 10 years, well, a while ago, 10 years ago, I think was the last time I was looking into this, maybe less. I was looking at houses, 2-3 bedroom houses, old houses built in the 1940s and 50s, right? But houses. I was looking at those in old neighborhoods in Pueblo, and I was finding them for $100,000, give or take. That's a great fucking deal, right? To have a piece of property outside Pueblo where everybody's living, have a piece of property inside Pueblo that is becoming a nice house, and then figuring out what to do with it. Do we split? Do we have people living in a house here and people living on a property here? Do we coexist in both places, right? Do we rent one out? Do we Airbnb it out? Do we turn it into a business in the town? Any number of ideas would work. Find the right idea and go with it. Yeah. Totally, man. Colo. So I'll start putting together some ideas, start putting together some figures and some places to look at, and try to send you some links to stuff so we can start thinking about the feasibility of it all. I know you want to move out of Virginia, and we really want to move out of California, mainly because of the same reason for you, the expense and the freedom. There's no real way to exist on your piece of property out here without having to deal with all kinds of bureaucracy. And from my research, I know there's less bureaucracy out there living out in the sticks. So I'll investigate and find out. And I do know a few people that either lived or live in Colorado, so I'll see if I can get some information there. I'm kind of actually hesitant about talking to anybody that I know on Facebook anymore, or any old friends, because I'm afraid of finding out that, unbeknownst to them, they're fucking racists. So I probably won't contact anybody I know. In fact, I won't be contacting many people I know at all anymore, except for a few people who have let me know that they share my views, just to be on the safe side. I don't want to find out that friends are not who I thought they were. So I just don't want to. Another reason I don't want to go to the reunion. I don't want to see the looks in people's eyes and then have to go, oh man, they got you. And I'm sure those same people look down at me and go, oh, you're one of them. I'm looking up going, you're one of them, and looking, you're one of them. So whatever it is, that's what they got us doing. That's they did it. They finally won. They've got us hating each other. Best friends hating each other, family members hating each other. All over some stupid bullshit politics. Ain't that fucked? Ain't that just a shame? Ain't that a crying shame? Yes. Get rid of that. Bring this back up here so I can end my show properly. Man. Yeah, Colorado. Even if there's people out there that don't share your views, we can be out in the middle of nowhere and not have to fucking deal with it. Fuck them. You know, I'd like to be out on a piece of property where I never have to leave. Everything is there. You know? And if you want something that ain't there, just fucking order it up nowadays. Put up some signs. Yeah, you can find my house. Look for the orange sign. You know? Whatever. Whatever. That would be great if I could just go someplace and stay there until I'm done. And then bury me there. Right? Dude, that's morbid. Yeah, that's life. That's life, baby. You're born, you live, you die. How easy is that, right? What you do in between is what counts. And I'm going to try to live by Jerry Garcia's motto. Just have fun, man. Don't hurt anyone. Don't do anything that fucks anyone else over. Just have fun. Just enjoy life, right? You're only here for a limited time. It's a limited offer here. That's it. Are you going to waste your time slaving away for somebody else for their benefit so that they can eventually say, we're done with you, go away? No, do that first. Get what you can out of them. And then say, I'm done with you, bye. What? We'll give you more. How much more? That's not enough, bye. You know? Don't sign any contracts. Don't sign any contracts longer than you care to be there, right? That kind of shit. That's what I would. Don't get involved in something that, you know. Don't lease a car for 3 years if you're going to need a truck in 1. Right? So, there you go. And there ain't no reason to buy new cars, lease new cars anyway. My idea is you get a nice used old vehicle that's easy to repair, and you just do it yourself. I mean, if my van was a 1978 van, I would be able to do everything myself because there's like no computer at all involved. There's like minimal computer bullshit in that. Nowadays, every single thing runs through the computer, so that it can be analyzed and pop up with that engine light. Oy. And the problem I'm having may be a fuel sensor node thingy inside. It might be a part of the computer. Who fucking knows? So I got to call him today and ask him, okay, look, where are we going next? What's it going to cost? And when does it lead to the next big thing? Because we'll plan for the next big thing, and I'll try the little things. If it's just a little thing that I can unscrew, unplug, put in, and plug back in, I'll do that. If that's going to lead down the road to you having to do some big deal to make this go away, then we'll do that with you. But for now, I need to try to get some solutions that I can deal with, you know. And if he says, okay, we got some sensors and some this and that, and, you know, you got a book, so they'll tell you where it's at and how to deal with it. You can watch a video that'll show. That's fine. I can do that, you know. And if it's something like the last time I had to replace some exhaust sensor thingies, and I had to have a guy come over just to wrench these things off. And I paid him good just to come over and wrench those things off, you know, because I wanted him to know that if I asked him back, it would be worth it for him to come back. So, if I got to do that, I got to do that. That's fine. I guess what I got to do now is go, right? It's Friday, but I can't stay on here forever. I got to get rolling along. I guess I got to do stuff. The wife's not awake yet because we don't have anything early going on. So that's great. Coffee's hot, so when she does get up, it's hot. I think we're going to go out and we got to go check a house that there's a check-in today, and the house has been vacant for a while. And because we live in the sticks, you have to assume that something is going to have gotten into the house and died. Usually a lot of flies will get in through somewhere, and there'll be dead flies on the counter. On occasion, you'll find some rat stuff. Peace, Joey. Take care. Colorado or bust? What? That's what they used to say. I'm going to get there or bust. Not going to make it at all. So Colorado or bust. That's our motto. Okay, well, it's been a long morning here because we're over our scheduled allotment of time. Corporate is going to have my ass if I don't get off and let the commercials play, right? Little inside joke. Yeah. All right. Look forward this evening at 4 o'clock for the 4 o'clock movie, Dark Lullabies. It is a documentary about the children of the Jewish concentration camps from Nazi Germany, World War II. So it interviews a lot of the adults who were children during that period in time. It's kind of heavy. So after that, at 5, we have a video time machine, episode 17, and we have a little farewell to, among others, Lou Christie. So there you go. It's been a hell of a week. There's just too much shit going on and not enough common sense going around. So I hope that people start seeing people as people and stop spreading the hate and violence for senseless purposes, or for some idiot who shows up and says, come on, man, let's torch that car. Give me a break. Get over yourselves, people. You're not that important individually, all right? Collectively, as a whole, if we all pull together, every human on this fucking planet, we can get her done. But we got to get together first. And I don't see that happening with the way things are going. Too many selfish people with their own self-righteous ideals and ideas, right? You can't just point at one people and say, it's your fault. You have to look at the mirror and say, it's your fault too. What can I do? Get rid of all the brown skin. So let's hope people start to see the light, and hopefully it won't be in the color of their skin. Okay, people. I guess it's time for me to get rolling. This has been Mornings with Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. I hope to be back Monday. This weekend will tell if I am in the right frame of mind to put together a promo for next week. I'll probably do a show. I don't know what the week is going to entail. I don't know what's going to be there. What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? I have no clue. I think we'll do some more 8 tracks. We'll do some arts and crafts. Yeah. Find another TV show. I should bring in a couple of boxes of DVDs. I've got like 3 or 4 huge boxes of DVDs. I got several more boxes out there of VHS. I think I should bring it all in, and we should spend it, okay, movie week. We're going to look at every single movie that I own. Less than a minute to talk about each one, right? 15 seconds max. That's 4 movies in a minute, right? And that is, 400 and something odd fucking, it's 360, what is that? That would be, in 1 hour, that wouldn't be a real whole lot of movies. 60 times 4. 240. 2 hours. If we spent every single second talking about movies and switched movies every 15 seconds, we would get less than 500 movies in a day. I don't know that I would be able to get through all of the movies that I own. If we're talking about VHS, Betamax, DVD, Blu-ray, 16 millimeter, 8 millimeter, it would take 2 weeks to get through all of that. 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for 2 weeks. Wow. All right, I can see by the clock on the wall it's way past time to go, and I can see by the viewer count I'm alone, so I'm out of here. Y'all take it easy. You know what to do, people. Be good to each other. Be nice. Spread peace and love, not bullshit. All right? Go out there and do something for yourself. It's nice. It feels good. But do something for somebody else too. Why? Because it makes you feel good. Makes them feel good. Makes the world a better place. It makes you feel like hanging on. It really does. It makes you feel like doing more and caring more and doing more. All right? Peace. All right? Most especially, people, stay weird. Because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody gonna be weird for you, people. You gotta put in the effort. You gotta put in the moves. Right? Put forth the effort to be weird, and you shall be. You know what's weird is caring about each other, looking at somebody else and not seeing anything other than your fellow human. That's weird. People don't do that anymore. Be weird. Look at somebody you don't know, completely different than you, smile and say, "What's up?" Hook a brother up with a smile, dude. "What's up, brother? What's up, sister?" And if they can't do that, well, fuck them. They can just go about with their miserable little entitled special little world. And fuck them. We'll take over eventually. Love will conquer. And until then, y'all take care of yourselves. Peace, love, adios.